Hi, I'm San Diego family law attorney Brian A. Victor, and welcome to my 11th podcast episode. As I mentioned in my last podcast, listenership has increased with each subsequent podcast I have recorded. As a reminder, if you are not a current subscriber to my podcast, please make sure to go to the iTunes store and subscribe so you don't miss any important podcasts regarding child custody and divorce issues. You can also go to my YouTube page to listen to any prior episodes you may have missed and to re-listen to podcast episodes focusing on a particular topic of interest. Just go to my website at www.brianvictorlaw.com and click on the YouTube icon. Now, for this podcast episode, I'm going to discuss the topic of co-parenting and its importance in both child custody and divorce cases. While the topic of co-parenting gets thrown around a lot, both among therapists and divorce attorneys, its importance is usually overlooked until a child is suffering from emotional and/or behavioral issues as a result of their parents' poor co-parenting skills. When this happens, usually the child is at a point in their life when therapy is not only appropriate, but is extremely necessary in order to help their child cope with their parents' inability to co-parent with each other. It is important to look at how lack of co-parenting displays itself in the parent-child relationship. For instance, there are several scenarios that can play out and negatively affect the child, even if that is not the actual intention of the parents. In child custody and divorce cases, all too often, one parent is attempting to be a friend to their child, while the other parent comes across as a heavy who has to make rules that the child does not like. Unfortunately, this approach backfires far too often, and the child rebels. Once this occurs, this can lead to poor school performance, drug and alcohol use, or other emotional and behavioral issues in the child. As a child custody and divorce lawyer in San Diego, I help my clients understand this process and instill in them the importance of working with the other parent rather than working against them. Often, however, it is the other parent who refuses to co-parent with my client. When this occurs and the parents have reached an impasse in working together, I suggest for the parents to go to a co-parenting class to learn how to work together. It is extremely important that the parents learn how to work together, at least to focus on the best interests of their child before it negatively affects their child, and especially before it is too late to reverse the damage caused by their behavior. To inquire further about more specifics of co-parenting in child custody and divorce cases, consult with a local family law attorney who can discuss this process as it relates to your specific situation. In San Diego, California, contact the law offices of Brian A. Victor for more information regarding co-parenting and the importance of co-parenting classes in your divorce or custody case. Thank you very much for listening to this 11th podcast episode, as well as my previous episodes. And feel free to contact me at my website, www.brianvictorlaw.com, for any suggestions you have regarding topics for future podcast episodes.